Hello Ashford, this is Madeline Wright.
Along with Nick Palmieri, bringing you another week of Ashford Saints news.
AU James Friday night jam session starts tonight as usual at 6 o'clock in the Old Chapel. No musical experience or instrument is required. They also meet every Monday and Wednesday at the same time in the same place.
Sign-ups for 3-on-3 late night basketball are due Sunday night by midnight at imleagues.com. Competition starts at 11 p.m. on Tuesday in Kale Arena. Again, that's imleagues.com.
Causing Bowling will continue as usual on Monday night at 9:30 at the Clinton's Plaza Bowl.
Starting next week, juniors will be able to register for classes for the spring 2013 semester. Talk to your academic advisor for more information. If you're a transfer student or you're unaware of your class standing due to any credit substitutions or any other mishaps, you should also talk to your academic advisor. You are a junior, however, if you have between 61 and 90 credits. Any more, you're a senior. Any less, well, you're still a sophomore.
Ashford Wellness Connections are having a meeting on Monday at 5 p.m. in room LL1130. That's room LL1130. This is located in the tunnel between the bookstore and the science wing. If you're interested in promoting student welfare on campus and finding ways to keep yourself well, this is a club for you.
Ashford Wellness Connections is also looking for a possible treasurer or secretary. If you're interested, contact Madeline Dombeck at madeline.dombeck@students.ashford.edu or attend a meeting on Monday if you're interested.
Psychology Clubs is holding another one of their Halloween-themed events this Tuesday, October 23rd from 11:50 to 12:25 in room C3420 in St. Clair's Hall. This week's presentation is called Costumes, How They Reveal Your Personality.
Sign-ups for co-ed indoor volleyball are due on imleagues.com. That's imleagues.com by midnight on Tuesday. Games between the teams of 6 will start at 10 p.m. at the Erickson Center on Thursday.
Also on Tuesday, the Student Center will host an extraordinary event. Reptile expert Tom Kesnick will be holding a hands-on Snakes Alive presentation featuring live reptiles and amphibians. If you like snakes and other scaly critters, this is right up your alley. But if you're easily spooked by such animals, it might be best to steer clear of the Student Center from 11 to 1:30.
Assistia is having a book drive from now until November 30th. They're trying to collect 1,000 books ranging from preschool to high school levels for local schools. Their donations will help schools who may not have funds to purchase new books. You can donate to Mrs. Bentley office on 4th floor St. Clair or at the front desk.
Ashford is holding another great event on Thursday, October 25th entitled Campus Computing and the Law. Attorney and best-selling author C.L. Lindsay will fill you in on how potential employers can access your information online, computer privacy plagiarism, and intellectual property and social networking rights. He has been published in U.S. News and World Report, the Chicago Tribune, the Washington Post, and numerous other publications. We strongly recommend you attend so you can be better informed about your online rights and safety.
Hall Council will end the week with its annual Halloween Bash at the VW Purple and Gold Room. It will go from 8 p.m. to midnight on Friday. This is always a fantastic event. It's a great time, so come on by to costume, some candy, and enjoy the evening of Halloween food and fun.
Important announcement just in. Also going on Friday night at 7 p.m. in the Little Theater is Ashford's Talent Showcase 2012. If you'd like to be a part of this, talk to Chelsea Stingley or Steve Wanda. That's an important announcement brought to you by ASN.
And now over to Zach Newcomb with this week's Ashford Sports.
Hello Ashford, this is Zach Newcomb here bringing you another week of Ashford Sports. Playing the back end of consecutive games, the women's soccer team closed out a 2-game West Coast swing with a 3-0 victory over Soka University of America on Saturday. Both men's and women's soccer play tomorrow against Jamestown College. Kickoff is set for 1 o'clock. The Ashford University volleyball team is on a 3-match win streak as they visited the Sullivan Recreation Center on the campus of the University of St. Francis for the 2012 Big Guns Classic last Friday and Saturday. The Saints dropped their first match of the weekend but rallied to take the next 3, including a 5-set thriller over 21-ranked Cornerstone University. Men's and women's bowling are competing tomorrow at the Regal Collegiate Classic in Peoria, Illinois. That is all for sports this week. Be sure to tune next week for the latest in Ashford sports.
Here's ASN's weather girl, Katie Guthrie, with your weekend weather. Hello ASN viewers, this is Katie Guthrie here to bring you this weekend's weather. Friday we'll have a few showers with a high of 50 and a low of 35. Saturday it will be partly cloudy with a high of 55 and a low of 37. Sunday will finish the weekend being partly cloudy with a high of 65 and a low of 46. I hope you all have a great weekend!
And now it's time to see where I sleep in this week's episode of Dorms!
This is Ben Headley at the BW filming dorms this week. Today we're going to look at room of Nick and James.
Hey Benji.
Hey.
Come on
Benji!
in.
Hey.
Alright, so this is our little foyer area. Notice we like to keep calm and carry on.
Yeah, carry on!
And if you look over here, this is one of the sinks where we like to make coffee. We have a little Ashford allowed Keurig coffee maker.
Yeah, caffeine!
So if you walk in here, this is our lounge area. We've got a nice lazy boy. We have people, playing some duty on our 42-inch TV.
50 inches of high definition! Yeah!
Okay, but he's excited. This is my bed. It's nice right in front of the AC. I like to keep it cool. Over
For
here,
all the ladies!
over here is Nick's side, where no magic happens ever.
Except Magic the Gathering, that is.
That is true. If you look around, you notice we really like our posters. So I like to focus on people, while Nick focuses on some places. But
This over here, Naughty or Night Slam. Right here, baby. Matt Jacobson bought this for me from Goodwill. Some days I'm feeling nice, and some days I'm just feeling naughty. So, yeah!
those are the days I don't like to be in here, when he's naughty. Alright, so as you walk out, you can notice that there's the door. Alright, see you, Ben.
Alright, bye.
Here's Ashford's own Ben Headley with the week's edition of Ben's Corner.
Ben's Corner. Ben's Corner.
Ben's Corner.
Ben's Corner.
Ben's Corner.
Ben's Corner. Ben's Corner. Ben's Corner.
Good afternoon, Ashford Saints News Media fans. This is Ben Headley bringing you another rendition of Ben's Corner. This time I'm going to tell you about an old wives' tale that I heard, and it actually turned out to be pretty successful. Alright, so, over the weekend they had the whole commencement thing for the online graduates and stuff. Congratulations, by the way. And so we couldn't park on campus, as all of you know. And so I had to walk to work, and my work shoes have no tread on them. The tread's completely worn down to where the bottom of my shoes are completely smooth. And there's a hole in both shoes. So on the way to work, I stepped in a puddle and got water in my shoes. And it wasn't even clean water, it was filthy, dirty, brown mud water in my shoes. And I just had to work for 6.5 hours and bear it. And I could just feel it. I was like, ooh, there's fungus growing on my feet right now. And so anyway, I got back to the dorms, and my shoes smelled god-awful. And I took a shower, my feet are fantastic, the huge. But my shoes still smelled kind of bad, And so I was looking up different home remedies for fixing your shoe smell, and I found out that if you cut a potato in half, like a legit raw potato, you cut it in half and put half in each shoe, that actually absorbs the smell and makes your shoes not smell bad. So I did that last night with my work shoes. I put them over in the little cubby area in my room and cut a potato in half and put half in each shoe, and then like rotated it this morning so that like the cut half was down and now the cut half is up, and my shoes smell like potato, which is a lot better than having them smell like feet. So I would highly recommend this. Now this is Ben Headley reminding you that Justin Coleman is a very classy gent.
And here to Charlie Holsinger with this week's Chuck's Movie Reviews.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Chuck's Movie Reviews. All the rain this weekend put me in a bad mood, and I thought watching the original Muppets movie would make me lighten up. I mean, that's what fuzzy, cute puppets are supposed to do, right? Wrong! I thought the Muppets movie from 1979 was awful, not to be confused with the one from present day. And I have plenty of points to elaborate in my defense. First of all, I like to point out that I've always been a fan of the Muppets since I was a little kid, but compared to other great titles like the Muppets Treasure Island and the Muppets Christmas Carol, the original Muppets movie failed to amuse me. From start to finish, it's filled with corny jokes and a simple-minded plot. I know it was a kids movie, but this film had less depth than a post-game interview with Derek Rose. To sum up the story without giving away too much of its mediocre plot, the film follows Kermit the Frog as he heads to Hollywood to start a show that will make millions of people happy. Sorry, Kermit, but this movie just made me sad to see how awful the Muppets used to be. Kermit proceeds to go on a road trip, picking up random Muppets along the way to take to Hollywood with him. These intros are all short-lived and really don't show how great the characters can truly be. I'll admit though, there are a few laughs throughout the course of the movie, but not enough to make it worth viewing. There are some minor subplots, like Kermit and Miss Piggy's love affair, and some crazy old guy and his henchmen that chase Kermit across the country to be the spokesman for a restaurant that serves frog legs. Otherwise, there really isn't much more to this movie, except for an interesting scene with Steve Martin at a restaurant, which I recommend YouTubing. Besides all that, it has a super cheesy ending, but just in case you decide to waste your time watching this movie, I won't give it away. The writers really tried to make this movie sentimental and deep, but in the end they produced a movie that is shallow for all ages. The laughs are few and far between, and the overall dialogue is bland and predictable. The Muppets movie hasn't aged well at all, and has officially croaked in my book. That's all for this week, guys. See you later.
Here's Lauren Thatcher with what's new today in politics.
Hello fellow voters, fellow Americans, and fellow Ashford students. I'm Lauren Thatcher, and here's what's going on today in politics. There was another debate on Tuesday night between Obama and Mitt Romney. Unfortunately, due to filming issues, that event still has yet to happen in the past world that we occupy here at ASN. So we'll give you a little filling in on that later on. I can tell you though that at this time Obama is expected to have a slight lead among early voters, though he and Mitt Romney are still quite close in the polls. Also on Thursday, there was a voter registration drive here at Ashford University. I hope some of you took that opportunity to go down and get yourself all registered right there, right here on campus where many of you live. You know, quite a very easy and convenient thing to do. I would hope you would take advantage of that. Today, however, I'm gonna take a little break from talking about the election and tell you about an issue that I guarantee neither one of the candidates are going to bring up. That issue is the National Defense Authorization Act for 2012, which was passed at the end of last year. Not to be confused with the new one that's coming up here. The National Defense Authorization Act it's basically a bill that is passed typically at the end of each fiscal year to authorize spending for the military and such for the upcoming fiscal year. Now, what's different about the National Defense Authorization Act for 2012 is it expands the provisions set down in the authorization for use of military force against terrorists passed in 2001 after 9/11 that basically authorizes indefinite detention not only of suspected terrorists, but of American citizens on American soil suspected of being terrorists. Essentially, it uses the word battleground as its definition for justifying these arrests, but under the bill, the wording is so vague that a battleground could be anywhere, not just someplace abroad like Afghanistan or Iraq where we're engaged in combat, but on the home front as well. That means if you meet such criteria as having more than a week's worth of food in your house, owning a handgun, or missing fingers on one of your hands, you could be considered a suspected terrorist under this bill, which I might add has been passed. I can't emphasize this enough. It has already been passed months in the past now. Under this bill, you could be considered a suspected terrorist, and through the various surveillance expansions already in place, it's quite likely that you are already being watched for potential activities now by your own government. But essentially, in addition to these disturbing provisions, this bill allows for the institution of martial law in peacetime, given a emergency situation vaguely defined in the wording of the bill. Under this state, officers of the president's cabinet and the president himself would have authorization to seize available public transportation resources, food sources, water sources, and other elements of infrastructure vital to keeping this country alive, not in a wartime emergency as the right existed previously under earlier legislation, but in peacetime under a vaguely defined, again, emergency situation. The reason why I'm telling you all about this is because your president, Barack Obama, called a liberal by many of his opponents and even some in his own party, surprisingly, allowed this bill to pass despite expressing deep reservations over the bill and claiming that his administration would not allow the indefinite detention of American citizens without trial. But not only did he allow this bill to go through, the man signed it himself last December to a minimum of media coverage. Now, many Americans live in frightening ignorance of this bill, but let me tell you, this is very real. You yourself, under the various criteria in this bill, could be classified as a suspected terrorist under an emergency situation that would be left to the judgment of the president or any future president. Now, this is not how a democracy is supposed to work, in my opinion. But I have come here to inform you of this because certainly Obama will not bring it up on the campaign. Certainly Romney won't bring it up. Basically, what you need to know is you or someone you love could be imprisoned without trial for an indefinite period of time by the military under this bill. This is not how a democracy works. So if you have any questions on this, you can find the entire text of the bill online. But keep in mind, this is very real and a very real threat to our safety. Thank you.
Well, Saints, that's all the news we have for you this week. I'm Nick.
And I'm Madeline. Be sure to tune in next week for more great news and even greater people.
And I thought watching the ribbit. Let's start over.
It was decent up until then. Yeah. I'm so hungry.
Hello, Ashford. I'm gonna start now. Hello, Ashford. This is Madeline Ray.
Love.
That's cute.
Along with Nick Palmieri, bringing you another week of Ashford Saints News.
Okay.
You should also, dang it, Okay, it wasn't going fast. It wasn't going fast enough.
5 p.m. in Lidl. Ashford Wellness Connections are having a meeting at Monday.
Games between the teams of 6 will start at 10 p.m. at the old soccer field.
Also on Tuesday, the student center will be I can't read the screen, I'm crying. How do you say his last name? Ashford is host.
Well, Saints, that's all the news we have for you this week. I'm Nick Palmieri.
You need to start that over. I was looking at you.
Well, Saints, that's all the news I have for you this week. I'm Nick Palmieri.
And I'm Matter.